we, the people of all of San Diego neighborhoods, are a barrier to these issues when we stand together with love of liberty burning in our hearts. We are not here today to debate every political difference. We are here to defend the bogus policies and processes that are hurting our historic neighborhoods. So what can we do? We can start right here today, right here on this block, supporting one another, engaging with empathy, staying informed and vigilant, taking action, joining your local community coalitions, and at the very end, voting. The most fundamental action of all, meet the new candidates that are running for San Diego City Council seat. We have a few today. This is time for courage, not fear. Our strength comes from our principles, from our commitment, dedication to a better future for all San Diegans. At San Diego United Communities, our mission is to empower neighborhoods to come together under one roof to communicate and discuss San Diego policies. We are San Diego neighborhoods, united, a powerful communication hub that amplifies our collective voices. Together today, we support one another, share knowledge. As you can see, different communities are up here. We will always support one another, share knowledge, and collaborate to preserve our heritage, strengthen our communities, tackle shared challenges, and champion growth rooted in integrity, transparency, and genuine respect for the people who call these neighborhoods their home. Stay loud, stay proud, and most importantly, stay engaged with our group. We are San Diego United Communities, a group to protect all neighborhoods. Thank you. Next up, I would like to introduce one of our group leader members, Patty Ducey Brooks. She'll explain a little bit more of the purpose of our event.
Hi all, how are you? Good. Thanks for being here today. First of all, I live in Mission Hills. I'm a business owner, resident, been there for over 40 years. My great-grandparents helped build the Museum of Man in Balboa Park, which is now called the Museum of Us. So I have a lot of roots in this community and share a lot of the feelings you have about preservation and restoration and protecting our communities. I'm also the publisher of a newspaper called the Presidio Sentinel. It's been around for 25 years, and we're based in Mission Hills, and we do distribute all over the urban community. Most importantly, we try to bring the voice of reason to the public at large. Last week, I was honored by the San Diego County Taxpayer Association and received an award, Golden Award, because of my position on good governance, that we need good governance in our city and county, which is missing. And I had a sign with me earlier that said, Todd Gloria needs to go. The fact is, we need to remember who's out there right now doing things in our community. Sadly to say, people like Tony Atkins, who lives right in this neighborhood, who helped drive this density program, as well as Todd Gloria and Chris Ward. The list goes on of people that they helped put in office who proved to us they weren't here for us, they were here for developers and unions. And whether you feel strongly about one or the other, the point is there needs to be balance in our city, and that's what's missing. So unless we do something to change the course, this will become the future reality of our city. Families are suffering, they're being forced out of the community, older populations being forced out of the community. We're creating a housing crisis. I say we because I really want to put the blame on the city and government and county government and state government too. And the point of the matter is you're all here today because you want to make a difference, so please keep doing it. I represented a group called the Kettner and Vine group that opposed the housing 1,000-person homeless facility in the Middletown area, and guess what? We beat it down. Raise your hands who are always a part of that effort. It was not done alone. They're back there, they're back here. We did it together as a team, and we did press conferences like this. We made the mayor mad. We made Steve Whitburn mad because they kept saying, we've gotten your approval. And we said, no, you didn't. And we're proving that to you in front of the media and in front of the public at large. So we need to continue to do this. And thank you for all being a part of this effort. And I'm going to stand strong with you, and we're going to fight this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Our next speaker, Mr. Eric Law, does sit on a planning board. and also is one of our leadership speakers today.
Hey, thank you, Margaret. And thanks everyone for coming out early on a Saturday morning. I appreciate it. Certainly emblematically looking behind us is this scar on our city that has been created by the campaign against us and our communities here, right? It was a couple of craftsmen, nice houses, and it's been bulldozed and turned into this just open earth scar here. We'll pause for what we call the Point Loma pause. Strategically placed, of course. Okay. It's tough to follow Patsy, and all of our, she's such an eloquent speaker. Let's focus on why. Why are we here? Okay. Why are we here it's written on the front page of the Union Tribune on every 5 o'clock news, right? You see it. It's taxes, fees, increase in electricity and water. It's the outgrowth of development, this massive overdevelopment of our neighborhoods, the taking over of our neighborhoods for issue after issue. But, building a 9-story apartment building in a single family neighborhood, this shouldn't take critical thinking, right? This should just be obvious to everyone, but apparently it's not. Now, you look at it, in the last 5 years has been a fight, and the tempo of that fight has been increasing across the 51 communities here in San Diego. And we've been fighting individually on issue after issue after issue. So the trash fees, okay, that's one. Housing is another. Our folks that we talk with down in downtown that are now being screwed by the parking surge pricing. They will tell you, like every other small business owner, that where the surge pricing occurs, their business drops. So it's not just us that live in the neighborhoods. It's our small business owners that are being killed by these policies. So what's the import here? We've been fighting individually on issue after issue. We've been successful going into council chambers aperiodically, but the ADU bonus rollback, we were successful. That took hundreds of us from across the city to go into council chambers and tell them no more, right? That's where we're at. Okay? So that's one, council chambers. We're in the courts, and that's what we're seeing. So we're fighting the courts for what's going on behind us right here. And the greater Golden Hill folks, thank you for supporting us here, but we're here to support you now. They're the lead in the fight to say no more 9-story buildings in our single-family neighborhoods, right? The fight starts here, but it's our fight across the entire city. It's occurring everywhere. The densification programs are going to deprive us of the character of our city, and for many of us, it's where we sunk our life savings, right? We worked our entire lives to create that opportunity. We want to pass that on to our kids. We can't do it if we can't get on the bottom rung of that housing ladder. We're very concerned about that. I'm concerned about it for my kids. That's what's going on here, is they're knocking the bottom rung off the housing ladder. Piece by piece, house by house, it's making it worse, not better. And so you'll hear this often repeated litany, we have a housing crisis. No, we have an affordable housing crisis. People cannot get on the bottom rung of that housing ladder. We don't need more rental properties. We need places that people can buy into, my kids can buy into, our neighbors can buy into. Preserve San Diego, grow San Diego, build that intergenerational family wealth and transfer it to our kids. Grow the foundation of our city, not become permanent renters that build nothing and are just largely just passing through. Okay, we don't want that. We're here to invest in our city. So we're 51 communities. Right now there's 24 or more communities represented here, activist groups coming together. We're here for the return of financial responsibility and good governance across the city. That's what our campaign are for. And I've talked about, we need to fight in the courts, and we are. We're fighting in the council chambers, and we are. But let's not lose sight of the fact that change will come at the ballot box, okay? We've got four council seats up next year. 2, 4, 6, and 8. If you're not tuned in, you need to be, because the change will come there. The change will come in electing representatives to the council and ultimately to the mayor's office that represent our needs, wants, and good governance. That's what we're here for.
Hear, hear.
So I'll close with something from Ben Franklin. Okay? Why we pause again? I should get this timing down better, shouldn't I?
Dramatic pause.
Yeah, dramatic pause, exactly. We're a bunch of disparate groups, okay? Across the entire city. I'll paraphrase Franklin on this, is like, surely we must hang together, because if we do not, we will hang separately. So come together across the city and fight. Hang together, hang tough, make change now.
That was powerful. All right, this gentleman, truly, I've got to know him pretty close over the last couple months, and I must say has been very supportive of our neighborhoods and also dissecting a lot of the policies that we haven't had time to do. And so it is a great pleasure to introduce Mr. Richard Bailey.
Thanks so much, Margaret. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. What excites me more than anything else about this group coming together is that we're coming together not around a single political party, not around a single issue, not around a single neighborhood, but it's around our shared love for the city of San Diego. We're here because we care about the city of San Diego and we care about the city's future. A few months ago, I started an organization called Common Good SD. And the idea behind Common Good SD was common sense policies for a better San Diego. Because as Eric mentioned, we're facing issues regarding not just housing, but around transportation. 30% of our roads are rated as poor or failing. We're facing challenges around public safety. We have fewer police officers today than we did back in 1999. We're facing challenges with our budget, with a $200+ million structural deficit. Our city's population has only increased 1% over the past 10 years, but city staffing has increased 27%. And yet when you look at performance in department by department by department, what we see is that performance is decreasing, despite record staffing and record spending. I say we deserve better. I say we deserve a lot better. More important than all of those policies that we need change, though, more important than all the issues we're trying to address, is we need a city council and a mayor's office that is actually listening to us. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Although I'm currently at this very moment a resident of Coronado, I just bought a place in the city of San Diego. And come next week, I'll be a resident of San Diego, and it's my commitment to all of you to make sure that City Hall hears all of us very, very soon. Thank you all.
Awesome. We're excited for your journey. All right, the next person that I'm speaking, I'm very super happy is here because he's going to paint the bigger picture and has been doing tons of work with his group. And it is so important to follow this group. We're just a baby group compared to these guys, but it is a pleasure to introduce Jeff Huter with Neighbors for a Better San Diego.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. As you know, if you go to any city council meetings, we're the puppeteers of everything that happened in San Diego. It's important how not true that is. So when we started in May of 2021 in reaction to the city's bonus ADU regulations, which were passed under the dark of night during COVID, and nobody ever asked questions and figured it out. we started this, and we kept going to city council meetings, and frankly, if you've seen how we present, we're a little bit dry and technical, but we've tried to present reasonable solutions to the housing challenges that we face. Not thinking that the city can just remain frozen in place, but how can we evolve? And one of the things that's important is we need to put, it's called community planning, because what we do and how we plan is about building communities. And the city has endeavored to shut our voices out, as opposed to say, maybe there's something here we should be listening to. And I think it's important. So we started in 2021. We've seen this build and build with new groups coming in, and that's really exciting to us. And it's important to recognize there's small victories and big victories, but this has made a big difference. And one of the things we brought a handout today that just lists some of the accomplishments we've seen with Neighbors for a Better San Diego since we started this. And that includes things like minor tweaks to SB 9 before it was passed, getting things changed in the SDA. We did get minor changes to the SB 79. There's things that we do, but the most important things we can do are to organize and activate before these bills become law, because it's so hard once a developer gets hooked on these kind of projects. It's hard to roll these back, and that's why the fight against SB 79 was so on. And if you remember, we stopped SB 10 from being implemented in San Diego. Now, the city wants to bring that back as missing middle housing, and then I wish they would go to a planning school or something and find out what these concepts really are. A complete community, believe it or not, there's a concept called complete communities. You know what it is? It's you have jobs and you have mixed income housing all in the same place. And what does San Diego do? Well, we don't build any of the commercial to provide that benefit to the community. We made it so you can relocate the low-income units 3 miles away, and then what's left over is just premium rate housing. There's nothing complete. There's nothing complete about these projects. So I think that's enough said there, and I really appreciate everybody coming out, everybody joining together. It's making a difference. And I'll just say, there's somebody called Ann Applebaum who studies democracies and how they function. And one of the important points she makes is that democracy starts with local actions, right? This is what democracy really, really looks like. It's people coming out on a Saturday, coming together and say, we have a voice in our community and how it comes together and what our future looks like. So keep up the fight.
Thank you. Very motivational. All right. So before we get into all the neighborhoods here, I want to introduce Miss Lori Fisher. She's an architect. And we want to get her perspective on things, and it's nice to have one of you on our side. Thank you, Lori.
Wow, hey everybody, this is a great turnout. And yes, I'm an architect and builder. I've lived in South Park for 25 years. And I also know what planning is, right? So I grew up in the Midwest. And so, in cities like Milwaukee, Chicago, Minneapolis, cities all over the country, you regularly see duplexes, threeplexes, fourplexes right next to a single family home. And it's really hard to tell the difference. They just look like bigger homes, but here in San Diego, we grew up differently, okay? We grew up in the post-war. We grew up in the post-war boom times, 40s, 50s and 60s, where it was affordable and it was realistic for someone to dream of owning a home and on their own property. And it didn't matter how far out you were because everybody had a car. That was the American dream, right? Well, the reason we're here today is because that's clearly not sustainable. We just don't have enough land to house as many people as we need to on their own little parcel. So we need to find a better solution. And, you know, the thing is that we need housing, and I think everybody here thinks we have a housing crisis, right? Is there affordable housing, right? Does anybody here think we don't? You know, I don't think there's anybody in the state who doesn't recognize that we have a housing challenge. We have an issue that we need to take care of. But we need right housing. We need to solve this problem in the right way. And dropping 20-story towers, nuking a single-family neighborhood with a 20-story tower is not thoughtful planning. It's not good urban design. You know, a 200-foot tall tower 10 feet away from somebody's home, you know, is going to destroy the community. I mean, how are you going to make friends with that neighbor that lives up on the 19th floor, right? And they're full of studios and one bedrooms, and so they're not good for anything. Right, you know? So the thing is that they're trying to frame this as some kind of binary choice. You know, it's either single family homes or 20-story towers. And we can't do anything in between. And that's wrong. I mean, look around us. You know, we've got these courtyard communities. That's what's missing in San Diego, what we call the missing middle. The duplexes, the triplexes, the fourplexes, the courtyard developments like this. It's about integrating density evenly throughout the community so that people can raise families, they can age in place, they can get to know their neighbors and really build community. That's what it's about. And, you know, it's really hard for me to watch because I know that we can do better. I know that we can do better. This is lazy planning. This is letting developers determine our future based on their profit models. That's not how we want the future of our city to go. We need thoughtful people who are professionals who understand how to build communities. That's what this is about. They are destroying our communities, and we deserve better. So thanks for coming out. And
All right, before we get into why we're really here today, which is the project behind us, I'd like to hear from our other communities that are fighting and have showed up today. So let's kick it off with Protect Point Loma, Miss Kimberly Grogan, who is also on our leadership team for the new group.
Thank you, Margaret. The city's climate action plan wants everyone to ride the bus, the trolley, or the train.
Right.
They do. We're a car society. That's how we've grown up, and we're not giving up our cars. Transit, as I should be quoting Richard Bailey, transit should support its citizens. Its citizens should not be forced to support transit. The Midway vote to lift the height limit in the area was unanimously revoked by the state appellate court for the second time due to a lack of information given to the citizens when they were asked to vote. The city failed to tell the voters of the environmental impact that Navwar and Midway Rising would have in this area. The Navwar study alone projected a 90-minute commute delay for anyone traveling on I-5 or the 8, getting on it, getting off it, going through it. 90 minutes. And that was just for the Navwar portion, not the other 4,200 units that they plan on doing with Midway Rising. The city right now is asking the Supreme Court to overturn the appellate court's ruling. Crazy, crazy. Now, as far as Point Loma, Protect Point Loma is continuing to fight overdevelopment plans at 1004 Rosecrans. Its 56 units are planned at the corner of Talbot and Rosecrans, with 8 partially subterranean 400 square foot studio apartments for low income. That's how, yeah, underground. And one front door and one window. It's crazy, it's crazy. And there is no designated tenant parking. The site is zoned for 14 units on a contaminated lot with only 2 lanes on the major artery getting on and off the peninsula's Navy submarine base. There is no major bus stop. in this area, and it is highly unlikely one will exist by 2035 per Sandag, and that Complete Communities Housing Solutions relies on. What's happened with Mission Hill is a big deal. And the fact that they got their TRO and the fact that it was because there was not any transit and the judge recognized that it was just something that was a pipe dream. But Complete Communities is relying on that. The sustainable development areas are all relying on what they're projecting is going to happen in 2035 to 2050, that it will probably never come to fruition, especially with MTS with their $200 million deficit over the next 2 years. Unfunded. Anyway, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for coming out here.
Thank you, Point Loma. Next up, let's hear what's going on with the Columbia Street Tower. Mr. Scott Case, who's also part of our leadership team.
All right, hey, good morning. I'm Scott Case. I'm representing the Stop Columbia high-rise effort within the Uptown community. Let me start by saying, we support new development in our neighborhoods. In fact,
speak up.
Our residents and many of our... Okay, yeah, sorry about that. First, we do support new development in our neighborhoods, our residents and our businesses. For decades, we have brought positive change into our communities. But we strongly disagree with the city's Complete Communities program that is allowing developers to destroy our residential neighborhoods with high-rises all across San Diego. So 2 very visible projects just within a mile of where we live here. 3677 Columbia Street. It's a high-rise on the Middletown hillside. 14 stories, 161 units, mostly studios and 1-bedroom luxury market rate units. They're going to go destroy 3 currently affordable housing, and they only have to add 3 more for a total of 6. And then the city allows them to build them somewhere else. It's essentially, the city's officially allowing redlining to occur in our neighborhoods for affordable housing. So it's located on an active earthquake fault, according to the state's official geological survey. It's designated officially as an obstruction by the FAA because it exceeds the airport's height limit by more than 120 feet. It needs multiple waivers since the street location fails international fire code standards. It's opposed by all the local businesses and hundreds of residents on the hillside because of the traffic, the parking, and the safety issues that it creates. Yet the city allows this to proceed. Then just up on top of Mission Hills, we have the 820 Fort Stockton project, brought to you by, I guess I'll say, a subsidiary of Stockdale that had the failed Horton Plaza development. 12 stories, 120 units, mostly small studios at market rate rents, only a few affordable units. Alrighty. Hey, so what's happening here? The city is giving deference to developers to push their one-size-fits-all high-rise solution into our neighborhoods. They're overriding the base zoning, the setbacks, the heights, and the density that everybody else has to abide by. They're ignoring the officially adopted community plans that a lot of the residents work so hard to get into place. They're suppressing any public review, comment, or appeal of these high-rises since they're all Process 1 ministerial. And they're also bypassing the locally elected community planning groups across the city that are meant to advise the city. We don't want to hear from you. Their process is set up to hide these projects from our public view, and we often don't know about them until the bulldozers show up. So the mayor and the city council allies regularly meet with their developer-funded political groups, yet our elected officials refuse to talk with their constituents to respect our concerns. And per their direction from the mayor's all of government direction, our community voices, they're ignored by the City Planning Commission, by the Land Use and Housing Committee, by Developmental Services. We can say things, but just as if we never said anything, and they keep moving on with the mayor's and his allies and developers' direction. So we do need change. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. All right. Let's switch over to, we briefly spoke about this before, but Mission Hills. Ed Moore was very instrumental in the also in the Kettner and Vine big win for our community. So if we can get an update on Mission Hills, that would be awesome.
Thanks, Margaret. Hi, everybody. Ed Moore, Middletown. I just want to give a quick citizen's testimony. Last spring, Mayor Gloria showed up at a rundown parking lot in front of a dilapidated building, pulled out a podium, something like this, had his media and Whitburn with him and some other of his yes men, and announced to all of us that he was going to solve the homeless crisis by building a homeless shelter with his friend Doug Ham, who he was going to sign a 40-year lease for over $1 billion. Oh, thanks, Mayor. Anyway, that shelter happened to be a football field's distance from my front yard. I scarcely knew who Todd Gloria was at that point, and I certainly had never heard of Whitburn. But I know who they are now, and I'm awake. And I just come here to share with you guys today that we organized, I met more of my fellow neighbors than I had in 30 years of living in the community. I have forged new friendships. All of you out here, I've met most of you. I am so proud to be part of this movement. And Todd Gloria, keep every parking meter you put in, you reduce your chances of winning. Keep putting them in everywhere. Every trash can you charge for, you anger a citizen. The anger is rising, and you and all of you are going to pay the price. Anyway, thanks for coming out, everybody.
All right, this project I had no idea was going down until it was shown to me, just like this one. And this is another one we want to watch very clearly and closely. Miss Dana Gevitt, sorry if I'm getting it wrong. I would love for you to come up here and talk college area for us, because that project is monstrous.
Thank you. I'm Dana Gibbett. I'm Vice Chair of Neighbors for a Better San Diego, and Jeff Huter's my boss. But he's really pretty good to work with. Yesterday we had a hearing at a special Land Use and Housing Committee meeting. There were 2 community plan updates heard, and it was a tale of 2 cities, north of the I-8 and south of the I-8. And Jerry, don't take any offense at this. So it was the College Area Community Plan update south of the I-8 and Claremont north of the I-8. South of the I-8, College Area was proposed for a 320% increase in housing density, housing units, and a 277% increase in population. We have in our community now 1.6 acre park, 1/4 mile trail, which is not a trail, it is just a walk you can take through private property over a sewer easement. We have we have 28 library parking spaces when we should have 80. We have no rec center. We have no police station, and we have no fire station, but 82% of our community is in the very high fire hazard severity zone. Okay? Now, the City Council passed that. The Land Use and Housing Committee passed that 3-1 vote. So voting for it was Shawnilo Rivera, who is our representative, who does not represent the community. Second was Vivian Moreno, and third was Kent Lee. Voting against it, God love him, was Raul Campillo, who asked a million good questions and who listens to every citizen, every person, every developer who walks up to that podium. He listens to them. And he asks great questions, so we really appreciate him. On the other side, after us, there was a presentation for the Claremont Community Plan update. Claremont has, this is from memory, so I hope I get it right. They have 3 rec centers. They have 11 parks with 70 acres included. They have 2 or 3 libraries. They have all sorts of infrastructure. They have 2 major open space areas with over 14,000 acres. And I begrudge you nothing. None of that, Jerry. Their upzoning was for a 59% increase in housing units versus our 320%. And they have a height limit on residences and buildings in their community, the highest one being, I believe, 65 feet. And their support was unanimous from this committee. However, they did accept 2 possible amendments that came from the community, and they asked, Moreno made the motion, and it was seconded and approved by Lee, to consider 2 possible amendments in zoning that were made by the community planning group and the members of the community. We had no such acceptance when we had the community planning group, the community council, the CPC, and all of the people speaking, including Neighbors for a Better San Diego, asking that the committee approve the community's 7 Visions Plan, which accepted 137% increase in density, which is more than almost every recent community plan update. And the community had worked on that for 6 years. There was not even a mention of that plan in the voting tabulation. So on December 16th, both of these plans will be heard again. And we did, in making our presentation, say that we were not asking for an increase in density in any other community. We were asking only that we be treated fairly and reasonably versus these other community updates. But we did not get that. The last thing I want to say is the icing on the cake in that meeting was that after the Claremont plan was heard and voted on, there was another agenda item, but Chair Lee stood up abruptly and said, we have a scheduling conflict and we have lost our quorum and this meeting is adjourned. However, when he said that, there was not a quorum problem. 3 members of the committee out of 4 were still present. Only Campillo had to leave, and they had not allowed for non-agenda public comment. And I had submitted a slip for that, and I had submitted written comment into the web form. So I went up to the dais and I said, you haven't done public comment. And they looked at Corinne Newfer, who was acting as the city attorney, and she didn't do anything. And Lee shrugged his shoulders, and they walked out on the public. So that was a slap in the face for everybody. And the comment I was there to make, which I hope all of you will make when you go to meetings at any committee or the full council, is that if it's a community planning group, or it's the CPC, or it is the Parks and Rec Board, and they are an officially recognized body by the city of San Diego, and they are voted on by their communities or appointed by the city, their representative should be given time by the city to be able to present their positions. That's what they were elected or appointed to do. And those people should not have to struggle to be seated 60 seconds at a time which would leave the public available to make their own comments to the plan. So I would encourage all of you to make that a non-agenda public comment when you appear, because these elected bodies and appointed bodies deserve to be represented and not to have to struggle for time seaters to represent their communities. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Very impressive update. And again, I just want to reiterate that there are 4 council seats coming up for election, and we, even though you're not in those districts, need to support one another and get the word out to change our government. So next up here, I've got, this is actually speaking of elections, although this is not a political event, this gal, Martha Abram, is been very instrumental in her community, engaging with all the other groups, just like Richard Bailey, and really trying to understand the big picture. So I invited her to come here today and speak a few words and get to know her.
Thank you. Martha! My name is Martha Abraham, and I am running for City Council District 4. Yeah. I live in Emerald Hills, and we have been fighting multiple issues for quite some time. Complete communities, bonus ADU, the Clobber Project, and the project that is near and dear to my heart is the Radio Tower Project. We have been fighting this project since 2022 when we first learned about it. And after tireless hours and investigation and research and discovering things through public records requests, I've come to the conclusion that the only way for us to have effective change in the city and in our neighborhoods is based on who sits in that seat. That person is a gatekeeper. And so we are not going to see effective change until we elect people that are going to advocate for the people and echo the community's voice. And that is my my mission, is really to occupy that seat and echo what the community needs and what the community wants, and to be their voice at City Hall. And I want everyone here to understand that whether or not I will represent you, we have seen multiple times the policies and the projects that are going to impact all of you. We all vote on them, right? I might not represent you, but I'll be voting on projects in your neighborhood. So it's vital that we support every seat that's being reelected, because it is in our best interest. If we don't have people sitting up there that are going to echo the community's voice, and I'm the only one up there, I'm going to look like the crazy one, because I'm going to be screaming and shouting what you all want, and they're all just going to vote against us. So, yeah, we have to stop electing status quo politicians that are their only interest is to advance their political fortune at our expense. Enough is enough, and I can't keep living like this. So we have to take our power back, and that power is at the ballot box. And again, you all can support candidates in these other districts, and you can do that by donating to their campaign and also donating your time and your talents to help them win. Because for me, I'm going against an incumbent, which is what I've been told is very hard to do. I'm going against the establishment, and I'm going against the machine. So I only can win with your support and with the people's support. And the last thing I want to say is, well, you can find more information about me. They love me, by the way. They won't, it's a bee. They won't sting me, but they're always around. Maybe it's a sign. The universe. You can find more information about me at martha4sandiego.com. That's Martha, the number 4, sandiego.com. And if you want to know more about what's going on in our community, you can go to the choicevalleyplanningroup.com about all the projects, the lawsuits that we have going against the city. Last thing, I promise. So going through this whole process, a friend of mine brought an interesting fact to me. So she showed me the org chart for the city of San Diego. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It has the mayor, city council, and the city attorney. But there's a group that sits right above all of them, and that's the people of San Diego. Ha! Exactly. So we have to take back our power because they have forgotten, but we have not. So let's take back our power, support these candidates, and hopefully we can change City Hall and bring the people's voice back to it.
See, and I was making some noise out in the community. Mr. Tom Mulaney as well. We were fighting these shady, bogus measures while people were voting for them, not knowing what they were voting for. And these measures ended up going through court systems and lawsuits and you name it, years of bogus developers in and out of this project. I mean, this thing is just been costly to taxpayers and just the city in general. But Save Access had a recent win with the 30-foot height limit, and that's something worthy to celebrate. But today, Mr. John McNabb is here to talk about this project behind us, this massive project. If you look behind you, do you see another massive tower around? Not really, no. Mr. John McNabb, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Marissa. Well, I'll give kudos to Todd Gloria because there's this concept, it has to get worse before it gets better. And Todd Gloria made things so horrible that this is amazing that people all over the city get together and start talking. And these are people, they're regular people. Back in the day, in the 90s and the 2000s, you go to C3, Citizens Coordinate for Citizen 3. How many of you know that organization? And how many of you know that they ever cared about you? You know, it's this thing as you go there and they say, no, you're not right. The developers are right. But this is a movement that is needed because it's regular people who can think rationally. They don't have those dollar signs in their eyes. They're saying what is beautiful, what is good, and what is holistic, and what is good for our future generations. You know, the city of San Diego is notorious for taking a concept and turning it 180 degrees, such as sustainable development, to do the exact opposite. But we're here in Golden Hill and we want to apologize because we have been part of the problem. This neighborhood has birthed Tony Atkins, Todd Gloria, Stephen Whitburn, Christine Quito, and somebody who worked for Donna Fry that now is in the assembly. So we have this challenge in this neighborhood that we haven't focused on the issues. And now it has come back to us right here. 8 stories, 186 units, and just like in Mission Hills, 3 historic homes that were literally affordable being bulldozed to put up a monstrosity. And if you would, that's a domino. Because when you take a look down this street, once everybody sees how much profits you can make by selling out to out-of-state developers, where they can make money looking to get those work-at-home people that would say, well, where do you want to live? Oh, San Diego. I'll go live in a closet in San Diego instead of being in Kansas City or somewhere else. We're gonna wipe out literally an entire neighborhood of quality, literally quality, low income and very low income housing.
I mean, this is abominable that they're doing that under the guise of complete communities, which is all about affordable housing.
It's not affordable.
It's not. And this is the thing, is whatever the city says, they're going to do the opposite. And it's just that way. And so we're very fortunate that our lawyer got a temporary restraining order. And that's very unusual. That doesn't happen every day. I mean, it's extraordinary. And our hearing is on the 26th, next Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. Go figure it out when everybody's already out of town. 9 o'clock.
We'll be there.
Yes. And it's important because it's not only the first domino in this neighborhood, it's the first domino in this movement. And so I'm sorry, I'm already got our plane ticket. I would be there, but we're going to have a great representation from our local neighborhood. We'd appreciate you joining in, because it's important that the judges start seeing lots of eyeballs on these things. It's important that it's just like at city council, you know? But when everyone's talking about city council, they were always talking about going up in front of the council. No, we should be in council, not in the chambers, but in the offices of our council people drafting the policy.
Yes.
And that's our problem, is they go hide. And if you go ask for an appointment, they send their underlings. They hide. This is the problem.
They kicked me out of the office.
Yeah.
Well, they just do Zoom calls. That's it.
Yeah.
No, and that's got to stop. Is that, Bob Filler, God bless him, he instituted coffee at down at City Hall on the weekends so people come and talk to him. We don't have that kind of representation anymore. And we need to get that back, and we got to make sure that people who go on the council are our people. They're vetted by us. And we got to make sure that our voice is more important than developer money. And this is what's so great, is communities coming together and starting to know each other. I started back in '96. There wasn't this. We've lost billions and billions of dollars of public land and public property because we didn't have anything like this. So we'll keep it short. This is a momentous moment in San Diego history. We need to stop the carnage, but we also need to start the vision. A vision that doesn't say unlimited growth forever, because once they do whatever they're going to do here, they're going to do it again and again and again. No, that doesn't work. We have to reimagine who we are as a city and say, we're a great place to come. We're great hosts. We'll show you how to build a great city, but go do it in your city. We gotta think that way. Because otherwise, all we do is get bloated, and we're gonna be griping until the end of time. So thank you very much.
So 11:26, 9 o'clock a.m. We have all the information on our website, SanDiegoUnitedCommunities.com. That's where we'll eventually post all the next steps, the next actions, the next hearings. Everything will be posted on that website so everyone knows when to show up. As John said, it's crucial. That's why we're here today. This group wants to bring all the neighborhoods together under one umbrella in a united effort to call out government. We've had enough. And so I want to, end do we have any ADU bonus updates, Pam?
I'm
Where
in
is she?
front of you.
She has a couple announcements, and then we'll give you the last details.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm sure all of you are tired, so I'm going to be real quick, okay? How many of you are on the adubonus.org email? Okay, for those of you who aren't, I'm only housing density, and I'm like a little newspaper for housing density issues. I started with the ADU units that some of you know went from 1 or 2 up to 10, 12, 18 in a backyard. Yes, who thought of that idea? So what I did, because the city won't tell any of you when they're going to build something until the bulldozer shows up next door, I made a list. On my website, there are, wait for it, on my website, there are currently 231 addresses that have 6 or more. Anywhere from 6 to 18 in the backyard, 21 different zip codes. So if you haven't checked it out, adubonus.org. I am now moving on to complete communities. That's what this is behind us.
Yes.
I have just started on that. I will get it done in my next life. I currently have 80 addresses on that have anywhere from 30 units to 497 units in one tower, or a group of towers, in 13 different zip codes. I'm just getting started. There will be many more. Okay, now, we've been told we have a housing crisis. I beg to differ. We have an affordability crisis. All of you have a phone and access to the internet. I want you to all look up this apartment complex. It's in North Park. It's called Le Parc, French. L-E-P-A-R-C. Le Parc. How much do you think a 2-bedroom, 2-bath is going for at Le Parc on Polk Avenue? Somebody shout out. 4,500. I got a 5 back there. Okay, going. No. Go to the website, Le Parc, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 7,800 a month. This is not a luxury apartment. There is no pool, there is no fitness center, and there isn't hardly any parking. So, but you can get a 1-bedroom for the low price of $5,000. That's today, and it's available right now. Okay, so those of you who know me, you know that my favorite person is Christian Spicer of SDRE, Home Builders, and Vertical MVMT. No, he's my boyfriend. You should know that. If any of you were at the June 16th City Council meeting, you know I outed him. He is the largest builder of ADUs in San Diego County. This is what he wrote to his investors. And I quote, "Potential home buyers are being priced out of the market now, and they're going to become indefinite renters." So how did we get here? In 2008, all of you are old enough to remember the crash, except for I know there's a little baby here, so that they don't remember. But does everybody remember the 2008 crash? Guess what happened? All of that land, all of the houses that were foreclosed on, and even construction equipment was swept up by the Wall Street private equity firms. Wall Street, not San Diego, Wall Street, okay? Now, what do you think happened once they scooped all that up and hoarded it? Now they're only letting out a little bit at a time and saying, ooh, we've got a housing crisis. What happens when you are in control of all of the land? Wait for it. What happens when you're in control of all the land, when you're in control of even the construction companies out there, and you've got all the capital? You can charge whatever you want. And if you're the one controlling what comes out, then that's what's happening. They're hoarding the land, and now they're saying, we have a housing crisis. And as Jeff Huter pointed out yesterday at the Land Use Committee, no, we do not. We have an affordability crisis. For all of you who are on my little adubonus.org, I'm putting out a 3-part series. I put out part 1, the affordability trap. The affordability trap, okay? So I want you to know how we got here. You need to realize the big private equity firms are out of New York, not San Diego. Blackstone, Brookfield Asset, Starwood Capital, Vanguard, all of these. These are not builders. These are funds, and I'm embarrassed to say I actually owned stock in Blackstone at one time. The problem is they are the National YIMBY movement, and they are telling our young people, just build more and the prices will come down. Just build more. The prices will come down. Not if you're the one controlling the market. Not if you're the one controlling how many of these units go up. So, I will get out of your hair. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for those updates.
But if you do not, you're not on my email list yet, I won't ever ask for money. adubonus.org.
Yes.
Thank you.
Incredible site.
All right, so this has been an incredible turnout. It really is, and this is just as many have said today, a start of a major movement. We have to start somewhere. We have to have our voices heard. We've had tons, in my 25 years of activism, we've had tons and tons of wins, but because of grassroots efforts. We have our voices. We have our rights. We have to make this group grow. We have to join forces. We're spending tons of money, energy, effort with our own neighborhoods. Keep that going. It's needed. But please try to join forces with our group. Send us your court dates. Send us your protest rallies. We'll make sure to get the word out to all the neighborhoods so we're there. We have to show up in numbers. We really do. This is kind of pretty much the same people that do show up, although I do see probably 30, 40 new faces. It's a movement that's starting, and it's a movement that's needed. This is no joke. Our communities are being destroyed. You know, let's fight for responsible development. You know, responsible growth. We want change. We welcome new developments. We welcome responsible planning. Keep those high limits in place. They were put there for a reason many moons ago. Why is there a need to build these, massive stories when they're not even providing the affordability that they're promising the people that want to move into these communities? It's much more than that. The picture is larger. Before we leave, I really want to get some photos of our group effort, please. With the signs, with groups. I want to send this to the media. I want to send this as Kenny stated. We want to create content. We want to send this to every single city council member and mayor. They're going to get our content whether they like it or not. They're getting it. They're getting it. I have to bring the Portuguese out of me. I'm with Kenny. I stand with Kenny on we can't be nice anymore. We've tried.
Right.
You've been so nice and cordial. No more being nice.
Okay.
Okay. So with that said, please follow us again. We've got social media. We've got Instagram. We're going to be flooding the internet with video contact. We're going to be going into each neighborhood. This is our first event. We decided to come to Greater Golden Hill because they did reach out to us. And we're going to, we're going to have town halls, whatever, but we want to be on the property. So this group is going to go to every neighborhood that has a massive project, and we're going to do our rallies there on the property. Because I don't think most San Diegans, probably 80%, that's a high number, have no clue what's going in their backyard until it's too late. So let's get ahead of that ball, create some momentum. If you've got a neighborhood, a project in your neighborhood, you want this group to go, we will rally the troops for you. We will bring all the leaders that support our cause, the Richard Baileys, the Marthas, the people that care. I haven't seen my District 2 council member, Miss Jennifer Campbell, come to Point Loma to talk to us. Where's your town hall Jennifer Campbell. She knows me very well, but the point is, let's rally together. Let's start having these press conferences on the properties. They're going to get sick of it. They're going to react eventually because they're going to say, "Oh no, this is a problem." They're the shirts. This is a problem. So with that said, let's take a photo. Let's conclude this. Let's